Thank you for staying with us on the conversation. Let's talk politics now, precisely women in politics, women in governance, women in leadership positions as we approach the 2027 general elections. In particular, the special seats bill for women, which is before members of the National Assembly. And when you look at the breakdown of this particular bill for women, of course, it's been fast-tracked in Nigeria's National Assembly and is expected to create a legislative seat for women ahead of 2027 general elections. It proposes creating 37 Senate seats, 37 House of Reps seats, and 182 State Assembly seats, 3 per state, to correct low female representation in Nigerian politics. And the key aspect of this bill for me is to bridge the significant gender gap in Nigerian governance and ensure women's voices are represented in lawmaking. So this morning, we'll be looking at this particular bill and how it's going to increase the number of women that we have in politics as we speak. And we have joining us this morning, Right Honorable Itunuoluwa Soniregun, Speaker, Lagos State Youth Parliament. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's such a privilege to be here today to discuss about something I am so passionate about.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I love your confidence.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so looking at this particular bill before members of the National Assembly, when you start hearing about the proposal of this bill and how it's going to affect women and their participation in politics, how did you feel?
Feel great, and I have hope.
Well, when you say you have hope, does that give you the confidence that at the end of the day, more women will come into politics and women will start getting the larger chunk of power when it comes to the sharing of political dividends?
All right, thank you very much for that question. I think this question requires me to go about what actually brought about the special seat bill in the first place. And I'll start by giving like a statistics. According to the World Bank, women, make up about 49 to 50% of the population. However, our representation is still in question. The underrepresentation cannot be overemphasized. Presently, in National Assembly, in the Senate, out of 109 senators, we have just 4 women. That's about 3.7%. In the House of Representatives, out of 360 members, we have just 70, and that's about 4.7%. As a matter of fact, 14 to 15 houses of assembly in Nigeria do not even have women
at all.
So this results to questions like who are those that are going to be legislating on matters that affect young women in those houses of assembly. So the implication is that the House Committee Chairman on Women Affairs is going to be chaired by is going to be a man. The committee are going to be men. You understand? So this brings us back to the question of can they legislate importantly on things that affect women effectively?
Right.
Do they even know what it takes to be pregnant? Do they know what it takes to go through menstrual pain? These are the questions that we should be asking ourselves. So this brought about the special seat bill. And the special seat bill is a temporary measure, proposed to correct the imbalance, structural imbalance that presently, that we presently have in Nigeria National Assembly.
I love
Exactly.
I will take you up on that.
Because I like the fact that you also mentioned it yourself, because I have a problem with the fact that it's temporary anyways. So now that the National Assembly is even doing something about the special status bill, and part of what they're doing is, of course, a temporary measure for 16 years to create this additional seats for women. My question is, why make it temporary? Because again, if you're thinking of facilitating more women to come into politics, because the numbers are dwindling by the day. At the moment, like you mentioned, we have just 4 female senators. It wasn't like that in 1999, and year in, year out, it has actually been dropping. So if you do this additional seats for 16 years, imagine after 16 years you collapse. Are we going to come back to start jostling for those seats with these men again? So why make it temporary in the first place?
All right, so thank you very much for that question. That's a very fantastic question. And what I would say regarding that, it is our belief that after this special seat bill, women will be able to show their capacity, right? Because presently there are some structural, there are some hindrance to women's participation. We talk about institutional barriers. We talked about, you know, political party not giving women the ticket. You know, these are the things that we have seen and we know, and we have tried several measures before, right? But it's not really working. So what we feel can work presently is the special seat bill. And why make it temporary? We know that women will be able to show their capacity during those times.
In those 16 years,
yes,
women are able to show what they are made of. But then I'll still come back to the fact that we are in Nigeria. We know we are a patriarchal society. It is not, it's a given. And so when in those 16 years, if peradventure this bill is passed, again, because we are being hopeful, if it is passed and then we still have that proviso of 16 years, are you certain that those number of years will actually be enough? Because when you look at 16 years, that's about just 4 election cycle. If it is, am I correct? 4 election cycle for women every 4 years to contest. So those 4 election cycles, are there enough to actually equip more women to have maybe not totally overcome these barriers, but to a certain extent pushed up that ladder, and then these issues that we've mentioned will no longer be there for women to want to contest? Or do we again come back to, you know, this where we are at the moment, where we're still coming back to say, well, you have to give us more funding. More political parties need to either sponsor or give women, reduce the number. What do they do for women? Reduce the amounts that women need to pay. So are we now asking for equality or equity?
Okay, so to answer your, I'm going to start from the last question.
Right.
We are actually asking for equity.
Equity, okay.
Yes, and regarding whether it's going to be enough, like I said earlier, is for us to show the capacity that women have. Presently, the representation of women is not even up to 5%. I made the calculation, you know, earlier that we have about 3%, 3.7% in the Senate, 4.7% in the House of Representatives, and when we calculate it together, that's 21/469. So the numbers is not really encouraging. So when we have more women now, you know, even if it is only the resource seat that women were able to occupy, we would have about 13.5%. That's an increase. So it is our belief that these women will be able to legislate better, to create more opportunity for women to be in leadership and be in politics position.
Okay, I have never doubted the capacity of women to prove themselves. We have had women served at different levels, and they are proving themselves. Okonjo-Iweala of this world, Obiose Kwesili, who is the Minister for Commerce now, Jumoke Odewole, and there was a time we had a female speaker in the House of Reps in this country. At what point did we miss it as women, and what are those things that you feel are impeding women from coming out the more to participate fully in politics?
I would want to start this. I would want to answer this question by starting with the fact that it is not about the fact that women does not have the capacity, or women do not have the capacity. But like I said earlier, there are some hindrances that are hindering women from.
What are those ones that you're able to identify?
I'm going there, right? So, and it is not just in the Nigeria context alone, it is global, right? So, but then I'm going to bring it back to Nigeria context. So we have something like structural barriers. And when I say structural barriers, we mean political parties not giving women the ticket, financial hindrances, amongst many others. In fact, the timing of the meeting, you would see that some meeting that they're having is always in the evening. So when you, as a married woman, you want to trying to balance that multiple tasks of, trying to go back home. It is still these men that will come back home and say, why is my food not ready?
I'm not supposed to be on this set.
So they will still be the ones to be questioned, and you have to, those things are not really, it's not encouraging, and it's making it hard for more women to, Another thing is societal expectation. And when I say that, women are believed to be the weak gender, and we are, in most cases, sidelined to be, our final home is sidelined to be in the kitchen.
That was before.
Still present now.
It's changing.
Yes, it's changing, but thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma. So aside from this, we also have cultural perception that take women to be like, it's just, women needs to be seen, but not to be heard. I don't know if you will understand the depth of that statement. So they believe that, oh, we can be seen, but our opinion does not really matter.
They don't
and
count.
that is why you see that in many families, the female child are not well invested in. Both, I don't want to mention
any region of the country.
Yes.
But like Ajibola said, it's getting better. I
Yes.
think a lot of voices, especially from the women, are now being heard because women are also not keeping quiet about this thing. So let's look at the role of young women like yourself. You are the Speaker of the Lagos State Youth Parliament. That's the first time a woman will be the Speaker. I mean, so it's a huge feat that you are on, and I see where the passion really is for you. So how are we positioning young women in taking the bull by the horn? Because again, when we look at the National Assembly and the special seat status, they are fighting for the women. But are the women there? Are the women themselves really ready to take the bull by the horn? We know that there are a lot of women out there who are passionate about Nigeria, who are passionate about leadership, who want to serve their country. But you've mentioned a lot of hindrances, you've mentioned a lot of barriers. But let's now start with the young people. Now, this is not about the social media. I'm talking about young women, young ladies like yourself. How ready are you to actually push yourself there and, be ready for the opportunities, knowing full well that it is a competition, whether we like it or not, because women need to prove themselves 10 times more than the men. And like we said, there are a lot of issues around. But young women, are you properly positioned at the moment to launch forward? And when this bill is passed, there are other older women who can mentor you and hold you by the hands and say, you know what, let's go.
Absolutely, yes, ma. And the reason why I said this is that you can see the numbers of young women that are coming out to support this special seat bill. Myself, I was part of the committee that was inaugurated by the House of Rep Speaker, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. I was the youngest there. So, and the reason why I was picked or selected is for me to be able to pass the message across to fellow young women.
Okay.
So, and I can see from experience, from my interaction, from my engagement, that young women are really, really ready, to go into leadership.
So, sorry, Ajibola, young women who are ready, how many of them have joined political parties? How many of them are card-carrying members of political parties? Not any particular political party now, because that's where to start from. So you can advocate, but if you're not part of the process, then it's a long run. So how many, the numbers of those who are actually members of political parties, is it also rising?
It is. But I can't say specifically that these are the numbers,
right?
But I can say that the numbers that I have with me, people that I work with, and people that I've seen is really, really encouraging.
Okay.
And I can see that young women are ready, to go into this leadership.
Okay, so whether young or old now, you have the numerical strength as women. When we go to political rallies, women are usually more. So what can the women do?
They are more doing what?
Campaigning. So how do we use this number as their strength to negotiate for political positions?
All right. Thank you very much for that question, sir. We need to understand that women are not mobilizer. When we have that perception or that mindset, or we have it at the back of our mind that women are not meant to be mobilizers, using their strength and their population, we would understand better that I would want to bring it from this angle. Let me stop from there. Let me bring it from this angle. According to the World Bank population, right, it is recorded that when more women are included in leadership, we would have a rise in our GDP of about 22.9 billion. Calculate it for 10 years. I'm not really good in maths.
Likewise. Likewise.
But it's something that would not only help us in terms of national development, But let's talk about countries that have also used or applied this special seat bill.
Right.
Countries like Rwanda. South Africa. Rwanda now has about 60% of women in their parliament. South Africa, 40%. You know, see the improvement in terms of healthcare. Rwanda, it was before about out of 1,000 births, we record about 129 deaths, infant mortality rates. Now, see the decrease. It has decreased to about 30 to 40%. You know, these are encouraging things that we can also apply in Nigeria context.
Okay.
When women are included, it is not only for national development, but it also helps us to address key issues that we are presently facing in Nigeria.
Okay, key issues such as?
Such as economic issues, such as health-related issues, amongst many others.
Okay, all right, a lot of people would also say, for some who are not for this special status bill, some of their issues or some of their contention is the fact that because of where Nigeria's economy is at the moment, there is a need to reduce the cost of governance. And so if we are thinking of passing the special status bill, remember the National Assembly is looking at adding these seats are additional seats. They're not to replace the ones that we have, the 109 at the moment. So they're intending to create additional seats. So some are saying, most definitely this will increase the cost of governance. That's one. Then two, they also think that this might be another opportunity for politicians or the federal government to use the special seats as a reward system for party loyalists, for people who've worked in various capacities, you know, for maybe at the party level. And so it might not necessarily be on a merit level, but it might just be on a quota filling level. And it is just a case of, you know what, just go and fill the seat and just rise the numbers. And so a lot of people who should actually fight to get that seat may at the end of the day not get it. What's your take?
All right, thank you very much. I would want to say that most people that say this or that goes against the special seat bill do not really have a depth knowledge about the special seat bill. From your question, you talked about the cost implication, right?
Right.
And a form of it is not merit-based. I would want to say this, that it is not replacing the open competition. And that is where majority of the people get it wrong.
So it's going to be fully contested for?
Yes. It is, what we are just asking for is that it is only going to be contested by women.
Okay. Right.
But it is still going to pass through the electoral process.
Okay.
Women are still going to, you know, pass through the political party to get the ticket,
and then campaign. You will still come out, but then it is strictly for women.
For women.
Okay.
And about the cost implication, are we really concerned about development or about the money? Like I said earlier, remember I said earlier that it would increase, likely to increase our CGP, GDP rather,
right,
with about 22.9%.
How will it increase the GDP if, of course, women who get into that seat will also be drawing their salaries and drawing their allowances from the pockets of Nigeria?
I'm going there. so if we, I'm still going to go back there, but if we as a country, we are really concerned about development and we are practicing a democratic system of government, I think what we should be saying is, you know, is the government, is leadership really reflecting the diversity of the population?
Okay. All right. So let's come back to that other question where now my feeling or the feeling of the critics is that this will definitely add more money to the cost of governance.
I won't want to go depth into that.
Why?
And the reason is that, you know, when I'm talking, I'm always wanting to go back to statistics, right? Statistics have it that it would increase. Okay. So once it's increased, what's the issue? Okay.
So you want to stay with the GDP of Nigeria?
Yes, GDP, yes. Okay. So what I feel should be the major discussion now is, are we really concerned about progress and development? Okay.
And that's not to come at a cost.
Thank you very much, sir. And so if that is what we are concerned about, then we shouldn't worry about if the growth and development, I mean, people, I don't...
Itunuoluwa, fine. If at the end of the day, this 10th National Assembly is able to pass this special seat bill for women, there are insinuations out there that women at least support each other when it comes to politics, when it comes to governance. I'm not a woman, but I would like to find out from you. You're a politician. Is it true? And if it is true, how do we change the narrative in such a way that women will start supporting women, in a way that we men will start getting intimidated?
Thank you very much for that question, sir. I would want to say that I am where I am today, being the first female speaker of Lagos Youth Parliament, being the youngest youth parliament speaker in Nigeria, and being the deputy chairperson of the Conference of State Youth Parliament speaker is by God's grace and the support of women that I have around me. So if we are saying that women are not supporting women, it is just, I can say that it is just like an agenda. You know, when you are in the political space and there are different news that, you know, people are going to be carrying. But people that are there would tell you, you know, the truth of the matter. Okay. And I think that's not true.
So women are supporting
women.
Okay.
Okay. Again, if peradventure this, you know, bill finally scales through and the National Assembly ratifies this particular bill, what then will be the role of political parties? I know earlier you said, of course, these seats will still be keenly contested for. They will still follow the process, only that they will be reserved to be contested for by just women. So at what point do political parties then need to start? Do we now start from the ward level? Do we start from the, after ward level, what do we have at the local government? We have ward level, we have the state level. And then so at what point do we begin to groom these women, and what criteria would, you know, the political parties now put on board or bring to bear for the women, since this post will still be keenly contested for?
All right, Ma. So political parties need to be very, very intentional. Okay. Because the main idea of this special seat bill is to make sure that it is not based on something that is not merit. It is merit-based. Okay. So what they need to do is to be very intentional about people, you know, that are going to give the political, you know, women that are going to give the political tickets to, party tickets to. So it's not just about, I know, like you said earlier, like, and I corrected, you know, it's not just about, oh, this person has been working for the party for quite some time now, and let's just give it to the person. No, we are not going to fully realize what we wanted to realize from that. So they need to be very intentional in making sure that women that they are going to give the party tickets to are capacity-based women, and that they have the art to serve the people, because leadership is all about service. So don't just give it to people that, at the end of the day, people will be questioning us about the special seat bill. Right. Is this what we are saying? Right,
right. But are you worried, though, that that could happen at a particular point in time, because you do not have control of the political parties? You can only advocate. You can only say what you want. At the end of the day, the political parties will still give their ticket to who they want to give their tickets to. So are you worried that at some point in time, the political parties may end up working against your sweats? That's a very dicey one for you, right? You don't want to be caught on national television.
Okay, so I'm going to try to give a response to that. Regarding that, I believe that there are still some measures that are going to be put in place to make sure that anybody that gets into through the special seat bill, you know, there's a way that sometimes you have a bad mindset. But once you have people around that are ready to support you, to monitor you,
to look at what you're doing,
you definitely do the right thing. Okay. So I think that as time goes on, measures are still going to be put in place to make sure that those that get into that, you know, position do the right thing. Okay. Because we are definitely going to hold them accountable.
Okay. Aside from holding them accountable, or, you know, putting certain measures in place for you to ensure that you get the best women to occupy those seats. What are the kind of supports that the political parties are expected to give to women for them to flourish politically? Because politics in Nigeria is not a tea party. It is quite expensive. You need to buy forms, and you need to campaign and do all sorts of things. So what are the kind of supports that you're expecting political parties to give to women to make this political journey easier for them?
All right, thank you very much for that question. I am a member of APC.
Okay, obviously.
so and you see our party is already putting in some of the things that you are expecting to see in place. You know, reduction of the party ticket for women, making sure that there's a quota that must be occupied by just women, you know. So these are the things that I expect other political parties to also, you know, be intentional about. And not just that, they also need to be intentional about training young women. Like I said, I'm proud to be a member of APC because they are doing the right thing now.
They are giving you opportunities to showcase your talents.
Thank you very much. And these are the things that we expect other political parties to be doing. Because if you don't involve young women now, who are those that are going to be grow to be women in the future?
Okay, at the national level of this youth parliament, are you also propagating this?
Of course, of course. I'm the deputy chairperson of the Conference of State Youth Parliament in Nigeria. And so what we preach is that we advocate for inclusion, not just for just women but for the both gender. We want to make sure that we preach the kind of message, we pass the kind of information that leadership is not gender-based. It is gender-neutral. So regardless of your gender, whether you're a man, you are a woman, you can get position.
Okay. A follow-up to Ajibola's question would also be the facts that we know that, of course, in Lagos, the youth parliament is doing so well. We have a couple of other youth-based bodies, organizations. We have the NYCN, is that the Nigerian Youth Council? We have a couple of other youth-based bodies. And so are you guys synergizing and working across party affiliations? Because again, when you talk about young people and the mindset of young people, it cuts across political parties, even though you guys might clash on a political parties level. But do you transcend beyond political parties and look at how young people generally can be more motivated or can be more politically inclined?
Yes, thank you very, very much, sir. And on that note, I must appreciate the Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, for giving us an intentional commissioner and permanent secretary. Okay. You know, all these young youth body, we have the Bile Youth Academy, the Lagos State Youth Parliament, National Youth Council, they are, you know, under the Ministry of Youth. Yes, okay. And any program that they're having, we are always included. Okay. They don't make decision on our behalf. We are always part of the decision makers. And that is, you know, what we are preaching, that we don't just want to be hearing news about what is relating to us. Okay. We want to be part of the decision takers.
You want to make the decisions yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is why you see that the Ministry of Youth and Social Development in Lagos is really doing well. Okay.
Okay. A very personal question now, Itunuoluwa. How did you find your way into politics? Were you born into a political family? And what is the attraction for you?
You know, someone asked me this question outside just a few minutes before coming in. And was like, oh, you speak so well. You speak like a politician. I said, yes, I'm a politician. But though, as the Speaker of Lagos State Youth Parliament, I'm not a politician. But I know that, well, of course, I'm being groomed. But to get that your question correctly, how did my leadership started? Okay. You know, right from way back, when I was still very young, you know, taking up responsibility as simple as doing the domestic work in the house. And my parents of blessed memory, I'm a child of their old age, right? Oh, wow. So that means that my dad would always say that Rome wasn't built in a day. And for a goat to become, for a goat to become a goat, it has to pass through fire. So those experiences, you know, is actually what I'm bringing into the table now. So it's not something that started in a day, right from way back. And you would always see me, you know, right from primary school, I held 2 different positions. You know, I was the office assistant and the librarian, and also coming back to junior secondary school, I was also the prefect of ICT prefect, and also the labor prefect. You know, coming back, I went to girls' only school at Government Senior College. I was the deputy assistant head girl, deputy head prefect. You know, it is not something that I just started in the day. You would always see me that, oh, I want to be the first female president. I want to be, you know? So now I'm the first female speaker.
You are getting there.
Thank you very much.
But so don't you get intimidated? You know, especially sometimes also there are certain things that you might look at and think, oh, or some people might tell you, this one is not for a girl child, or this space is not for a girl child. So how do you overcome those challenges? Because whether you like it or not, there'll be people around you sometimes who might not even believe in your capacity, especially because of your stature. They'll look at and say, this small girl. But when you open your mouth and speak, they'll know that, okay, this one is small but mighty. So Tell us, how did you also build your confidence level? Because that's also very key when it comes to public speaking and when it comes to leadership positions. So, mentorship for you also, how has that helped? You attain this position you are today.
Thank you very much, sir. For your first question, how do I get intimidated? No.
Okay.
How do I manage? I focus on results. I let people understand through my actions and the results that leadership is not based on age, gender, or anything else, but it is based on consistency, commitment, and discipline.
Okay.
Vision included.
Okay.
So when you know where you are going and you know what you want to do, trust me, there's nothing that you cannot achieve.
Wow.
So I focus on results.
Okay. Mentorship?
Like I said, I am where I am today because of some persons that have backed me up. I said it earlier that I am a child of my parents' age, and because of their mentorship, have really been able to gather, things that some persons might not even, come to realize at a very young age.
Okay.
Aside from that, I also have mentors. I don't want to say this story, but I have to say it. Someone just noticed that I'm the kind of person that I believe so much in that whatever is not documented is not done. So whenever I do anything, I'll post it, do this. So someone just identified me and referred me to the then vice chairman of National Youth Council, Lagos West. That's Honorable Dr. Ademo. He's not a doctor, okay. Dr. Ademo Sujamiu. And from there, I started attending, National Youth Council programs, attending, and sometimes I'm always the youngest. Sometimes the only female there.
Right.
But am I intimidated? No. Do I know where I'm going? Yes.
Right.
Okay, Itunuoluwa, before we let you go this morning, for those young ladies who are watching us right now, who are in the four corners of their room, if I go out there, will my voice be heard? Will I be given the opportunities? What do you have to say to them?
My take is that, please, do not lose yourself in the process of trying to find your voice and yourself. Believe that there's a space for you. Yes, and yes, the sky is going to be your limit.
All right. So, what's your final word for the National Assembly as they continue in their bid to create the special status bill?
Okay, so like I would always say now, this time around, it is not by we are very sure that we'll get there. We are pleading. Think about us. Think about our future. Because saying yes to the special seat bill is not just saying yes to today, but it's saying yes to our tomorrow. Because when we see women now included in, what really matters to national development, young women like myself would be encouraged, and it will give us hope that yes, leadership is not actually gender-based, but it is gender-neutral. Thank you.
Absolutely. This is a very fine place to leave this conversation this morning. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Itunuoluwa Soniregun, Speaker, Lagos State Youth Parliament. Again, we thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Where are your aides? Your security detail, your PA,
your convoy. And Adetola just sent me a message that she looks like Stella. Is she a go? That one's another firebrand. What part of, are you from Lagos State?
Yes.
What part of Lagos State are you
Agege.
from? Agege. Okay.
So which one is one out of the two of you?
I'm the one.
You are the one. Okay.
You are the one. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here on the program. And we wish you the very best in your journey ahead.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much, sir.
That's the much we will take on this segment of the show this morning. But I tell you, it's been such an interesting conversation with our guest this morning. And I like our closing shot to the National Assembly, saying this time round, they're actually pleading for a better tomorrow. Don't think about today, but think about the future of the many young girls and ladies who are passionate about Nigeria and the fact that they have so much to offer this great nation. Let's take a quick break. When the conversation returns, Ade Binkme will be here with her Lagos conversation.